as the offseason wraps up, we get closer and closer to the start of the regular season for both the LEC, the LCS, and all the other leagues in the world. You know, you have ERLs, you have LCK, LPL, all of that stuff. We're getting closer and closer to the start of that. That's really the next big kind of like event in the LOL esports world, obviously. So we need to start preparing. And I know a bunch of people are going to be asking me like, oh, when does the LEC start? When does the LCS start? Like, there's tons of questions like, when are the LEC or LCS going to go to BO2s or BO3s? Is the LEC going to have a preseason tournament? When is finals going to be? Where is finals going to be? Are we going to have fans for regular season, playoffs, finals, all of this stuff? So at least for the LEC, we got a lot of new information today that we're going to be going over and hopefully be answering some of your guys' questions so we don't get, you know, as many comments just asking the same things over and over again, but also helping us all be on the same page, know what's going on. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. We're trying to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. It's going to be very, very close. So your sub could help us go a long way. With that being said, let's get right into this. We have this tweet from the LEC this morning. I believe, I saw it this morning at least. Yeah, it was 5 a.m. for me. The LEC returns all the dates you need to know, and then a spring season update. So hopefully there's a lot of information in here about what exactly is going on. The LEC returns all the dates you need to know. It's not long until your LEC teams head back to the Rift, and we have dates for your diary for the 2022 spring playoffs and more. So here's a TLDR, and then we'll get into the article a little bit, some of the key points. Obviously, if it's mostly summarized up here, we don't need to dive too deep into it. But LEC spring kicks off on January 14th, 2022, and will once again feature 2 Super Weeks. I think Super Weeks are cool. I think it's interesting. I think it's like a nice little gimmick, I guess, but like, if there was no Super Weeks, I don't think I would miss it or even really notice that much. It's cool, it's fun, but like I'm sure it's also kind of exhausting for players, teams, for the broadcast and everything. Like I don't know, it's cool, but like if that's your one big thing, it's like, oh, we have Super Weeks this year. I'm sure there's like, you know, 10, 15 other things that fans would rather have like higher on their priority list. I don't know. That's at least how I see it, but maybe I'm wrong. The spring playoffs are set to start on March 25th, and the finals are planned for April 9th and 10th, all taking place in the LEC studio in Berlin, which to me is kind of disappointing. We will talk about that more in a little bit. I know it's going to be probably controversial, but we'll get into that. Accredited ERLs are going to start the week of January 10th. Obviously, it's going to be very, very hyped and exciting. Seeing Reckless and K-Corp, seeing a lot of the LFL guys, seeing a lot of the really, really hyped up ERL leagues. It seems like this might be the biggest year ever for ERLs, and they've been doing pretty well the last couple of years. So that is very, very exciting, and should be interesting. And also, I know that, you know, like Reckless's first game with K-Corp is going to have insane viewership, and that'll actually be kicking off before the LEC starts, so that'll be kind of interesting. And the Amazon European Master Spring starts on April 4th and finishes up on May 8th. So there that is as well. So after an incredible year in 2021, the LEC teams are heading back to the Rift on January 14th, 2022. And now they can reveal when the playoffs and everything are going to take place. As with previous seasons, spring 2022 will feature 2 Super Weeks, each highlighting 3 days of intense back-to-back games showcasing the LEC's finest. And then here we go. As previously announced, we will not be hosting an LEC Roadshow for spring 2022. I didn't click on this, so I don't know what this previous announcement is. Okay, so that's why I didn't see it, because it was in Spanish or something. So as previously announced, I will not be hosting an LEC Roadshow for spring 2022, meaning that they are not going anywhere for playoffs or not going anywhere for finals, anything like that. And it's kind of disappointing. It also seems like they will not have fans anywhere. The global pandemic is continuing to affect many countries around Europe. We need to remain vigilant and cautious. Instead, the LEC playoffs, including the final, will take place in the LEC studio in Berlin, Germany. Excitingly, though, we're currently working on delivering an even better online viewing experience for fans watching at home, which, again, pretty much goes to me to say that there will not be any fans in the studio or anything like that. And to me, that is really, really disappointing. Yes, I get it. COVID is still out there. I know this is kind of like weird timing with like Omicron variant just coming out, and I know that we just had the death of the ERL player. Obviously, very, very tragic, very, very sad, very, very disappointing. It sucks, everything that's going on, but at the same time, This is not 2020 anymore. You know, we're now going into year 3 of all of this. And obviously, I'm in the United States, so I can only speak on our situation here. I don't know necessarily about the European situation or the situation in Germany specifically. But I know that all around the world, and including all around Europe, there are packed out stadiums, you know, sold out stadiums every single day. And I'm not saying that we should be going for, 100,000 people venues or anything like that, but the fact that we can't have any fans anywhere in regular season studio, limited capacity, maybe only vaccinated people, maybe people spread out, especially for playoffs and especially for finals, not having those types of experiences, I think is very, very detrimental. Again, yes, I understand that there is still issues and things going on. I see this stuff every single day. I work in healthcare. I absolutely understand. But at the same time, on my personal side of it, it's like life is very, very short, and it sucks going into the third year, stuff like this. And again, if everything was locked down everywhere, everyone, wasn't living their lives at all, if everyone was just cooped up in their house all day long, the players aren't doing that, team members aren't doing that, fans aren't doing that, just to pretend like, hey guys, we're in this pandemic, so we're just going to keep people in the studio. Like, these players are not quarantining 24/7. The teams, the managers, the coaches, they're not quarantining 24/7. The fans are like, it just doesn't make sense to me to not be having fans in the studio, at least to some capacity, at least making some attempt. Again, all other kinds of sports, I know that, like in the United States, we have pretty much everything open everywhere. We have, just events going on all the time. And to be missing out on that for esports, I think is very, very bad for the long-term and short-term quality and health of esports. If we want esports to be around 5, 10, 20 years from now, these are experiences that are just not the same as an online viewing experience. They can say they're going to make the online viewing experience better, but overall, in both the LEC, LCS, and even at events like MSI and Worlds, the online viewing experience has been pretty terrible. And I don't really think it's our fault. I just think that is the nature of the online viewing experience. That's why professional sports like basketball, like the NBA, the NFL, it's why they were wanting to get fans back as soon as they could, because they understand how important that is to the business, not only in the short term, selling tickets, but in the long term. It creates long-lasting fans. It creates generational fans. It creates new generations of fans as well. Not only does esports need to maximize on the fan base they have right now, they need to work on, who's our fan base going to be in 5, 10 years from now. And when you look back, think back to all the crazy moments, all your favorite moments in esports. I would assume a lot of them, if not all of them, for me, it's all of them, are related around events with crowds, events with people there, events, people are, people love that social interaction. People love connecting, not only with fellow fans, but with the players, seeing, everything, seeing a face. It's just things that you cannot get from a screen. I think at this point we're getting very, very antsy. So I don't know. I'm just very disappointed in this LEC decision. I think more could be done. I think there is ways to put on events safely. I think that is being proven every single day around the world. You have options, and yeah, I don't know. This just seems like a very, very bad decision that we are going to be feeling the ramifications of, not only in the short term, but also in the long term. Now, yes, the LEC has still been doing pretty decent in terms of viewerships and everything, and that's awesome, and that's great, and the ERLs as well. Maybe the LCS is getting hit harder by this, but I don't know. To me, this seemed like a little bit of a disappointing decision. I did think that, regular season probably doesn't matter as much, but I did think we would at least be seeing fans in attendance for like finals, or at least getting on the road doing something like that. And then also on the other hand, there's the people, a lot of people are asking for BO2s, BO3s, whatever. It doesn't seem like that's coming. It seems like the LEC is pretty much exactly what we were last year. It's going to be all online. It's going to be all best of ones. They're going to have some super weeks. No preseason tournament. They're the only major league in the world now without a preseason tournament, which is surprising to me, seeing how successful the lock-in tournament was for the LCS last year. So, LEC has been great the last couple of years. They've been making a lot of awesome decisions. They've been really at the forefront in terms of overall production for competitive League of Legends. But I don't know. I'm not really on the same page with them in terms of a lot of the decisions they made for this year. It feels like they didn't really try anything new, test anything out, push the boundaries. They're just kind of running it back from last year and telling us that they're going to improve the online viewing experience without showing us anything, and that's not really what I want to hear. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think the LEC is good not making any changes? Do you think they should have made some changes? I'd love your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!